this computer. Perfect. All right, guys, we are going to get this thing rocking. So, welcome to the Elite Network weekly team call. Thank you guys for hopping on here. As usual, I appreciate your time. We're going to make sure that we pour as much value and content into this call as possible, okay? And so, I'm really excited for this call, particularly because not only do we have a new success story coming on here tonight, which I am stoked for you guys to get to hear some different things that this girl has gone out there and done. She's been able to literally transform her life, and you're going to get to hear from her in a quick minute or two. But I'm also excited to hear what Mr. Peter Unger has to say. This kid's actually on the move. He's getting ready to go out to a retreat out in Utah with Mr. Sperry and some other people who are really killing it in the game. So that's going to be awesome. And he's going to bring some mad content. So first things first, guys, thank you very much for hopping on here. Make sure you have your notepad and a blue pen with you. I had a lot of people ask me, why blue pen? Why blue pen? Well, it's because scientifically it's proven that blue versus like a black or red or other colors like that tends to create more of a strong neural pathway in your brain. So you'll actually remember the content that you write down more so than anything else. And you say, why write it on a physical piece of paper? Because here's the thing is it requires more thought and more muscles in order to write actually onto a physical piece of paper, like my notebook paper right here, okay, versus typing this into your phone. So if you don't have one of these handy dandy notebooks, make sure you go out and get one. And real quick, we're going to go ahead and have our guest speaker get going. And really it's going to be an interview. We're going to ask her some different questions and things and really go ahead and see what she has to say because she has started to see some success in this industry. And I'm excited for you guys to get to hear from the one and only Miss Shannon Hagen. So I'm going to unmute her and go ahead and ask you some questions. So, Shannon, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Cory.
You're so welcome. So, guys, real quick before I ask Shannon any more questions, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I met Shannon. It was originally through Daniel Schuler. Most of you guys know that guy. He's kind of a freak. But anyways, yeah, so he actually, I think, met Shannon over Instagram or something like that. She just saw a little bit of a vision with this, really got going. And ever since then, she has, I met her in Mexico actually in December for the first time in person. That was pretty cool. We got to hang out for a couple days. Beautiful, beautiful resort. And really get to know each other in different. So I got to learn a lot of her backstory and stuff, but she's going to share some of that with you real quick here. But I've seen this girl literally go from a state where I have never personally gotten to mentor or work with somebody from across the country or anything like that. So this was kind of a new experience for me, which is really cool. And Shannon's a great person that I was able to work with. And she's literally transformed not only her Watabu business, but her life here in the past couple of months. And she's going to just go ahead and share with you how she's been able to do that. So Shannon, if you can just kind of share some of your story with people and a little bit of who you are, I think that would be really great. So why don't you go ahead and start with that?
Okay. Thank you. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Shannon. I am in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been working at Jimmy John's full-time. So, yeah, y'all in the restaurant business, I know how you feel. And I literally, before Watabu, I was just stuck and I just got really depressed. There was days where I told Cory, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. This is just it. I'm going to work at Jimmy John's and just repeat over and over and over again. And I just kept telling myself that. And finally, he got it in my head that you don't have to keep going to Jimmy John's over and over again. And I learned that if you pay attention to your mentors instead of your mistakes, then you won't have to, obviously people are going to make mistakes because we're human. But if you can make less mistakes and pay attention to your mentors and really apply what they have to say, then you're going to eventually be successful. And yeah, that's kind of my story of how I came about. I just got sick of losing. And one day I woke up and was like, I really just want to build a team. And I applied what everyone's been telling me and teaching me.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Cool. Well, how did you get introduced to Watabu? Like, I know that you and Daniel kind of got to know each other and stuff, but can you explain sort of that process and how things went for you from that point to where you decided to make the decision to join Watabu and what it's been like ever since then?
Okay, yeah, I think my story was kind of interesting because Daniel Schuler, I'm not sure, we can never decide. I think like one of us liked each other's Instagram pictures. So I messaged him, I was like, hey, and then I was like, what do you do? Like, you seem pretty cool. And he seemed like a really positive person the way he brings himself about on Instagram. And I was just looking for more positive friends. And so he was like, yeah, I just launched an international travel adventure club company. And I was like, no way. And the video that he sent me had Luke Hessler in it, and I actually met Luke Hessler at a Jeunesse event like a year prior to this. So I kind of knew who Luke was, and I met him before. So I kind of wasn't like, okay, these aren't like creepy people just on a screen trying to get me to do something. So then I met up with David Roden and Luke and them shortly after that, and just Daniel keeping me connected with everyone and seeing the Watabu vision or whatever, and all that. I really seen like something like I'd never seen before. Like other like people's like businesses really didn't like connect with me, but with Watabu, I seen that like-minded people and friends, like that's really what I wanted at the time. Was I seen that that's where I wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of just like saw a group of people who were doing something different to get a different result and were positive, and that was something that you're really looking for in your life. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's awesome. We're glad you decided to make the decision to become part of the family. So, real quick, Shannon, tell us a little bit more about kind of like what you did and what really clicked in your head that allowed you to go from your business where it was just you to in the past month or two, really just developing into you actually having a full-on team and different things like that, and kind of the process and different steps that you took in order to get there.
I think my key was like in my dailies, and doing my DMLs, like the daily method of operation, when I really like decided to go and crush those every day and really go full force into those, is when I started seeing more results. And like obviously I never really liked reading, but I knew that I had to do it to like better myself, because I know my business is going to grow as I grow. So really trying to, I think, better myself is really how I've seen things really grow from one place to another.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And that's so true. Shannon definitely was really being very teachable and very, very coachable. And she started to take just little steps. When we first started talking, I asked her for one thing, and it was that she was going to improve a little bit every single day. And that was it. And she's done that. And her business is starting to grow because she is growing. She's becoming a better person. So her team is becoming bigger and better as well. And so it's sort of like the compound effect just started to take place with you. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Shannon, I wanted to thank you so much for getting on here and sharing some of your story and just different things. Hopefully you guys got some different pointers from listening to Shannon. And yeah, Shannon, did you have anything else you wanted to share with anybody? Really last quick minute motivation or anything like that?
I think just like I don't know if y'all heard the phrase like hold on for dear life. Like just hold on. Things will get better. Like I promise.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing that piece of knowledge. And guys, now we're going to be tossing it over to the one and only Mr. Peter Unger. All right. I don't even really need to talk about him because pretty much everybody on here knows this guy. But he is one of my best friends, and we did go to middle school together, and we have a lot of backstory. So if you guys ever want to hear some crazy stories about Peter, let me know, and I'll be happy to share. But guys, make sure you really just pay attention to this kid. He's seen a ton of success in this industry, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. So Peter, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, brother, and let's hear some golden nuggets, man.
Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. I'm going to look at the time right now so I don't go over. I promised I wouldn't. Perfect. I'm going to take no more than 10 to 15 minutes to share this information. Guys, what's up? I'm stoked to be on here. It's honestly been a while since I've been able to throw down on a team call, and I am really excited to be on here tonight with you guys to talk about some stuff that I put a lot of serious thought into. So we just got into state. For those of you who know what that means, we're ready to go. And I'm excited to really throw down for the next few minutes. So, wow. I mean, if you guys were really actually, like, listening, it's crazy. If you guys knew Shannon a couple months ago, and just to see the growth that's occurred in her since Mexico, when I first actually officially met Shannon, it is insane to me what you can do in this industry just by part-time investing your time into something and making the decision that you're going to grow. And I love it because everything that Shannon said has everything to do with what I'm talking about tonight. So, if this is your first time on an Elite Network team call, if you're not actually a part of the team tonight and you're just tuning in to really see the inside perspective, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure what all Cory's talking about, but I do know that what I'm talking about could scare you a little bit. So if you're brand new, this information, it does not necessarily apply to you. It's still great stuff, trust me. But this is more for the veterans, the people who've been here a while, who really need a wake-up call. That's kind of what type of message this is. And so this is a little bit more intense than normal. I promise you, it's not like this every week. Hop on next week and see what it's actually normally like. But with that, guys, my name is Peter Unger. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 19 years old right now, living out in Southern Oregon, and this industry has changed my life forever. I walked into it a year and a half ago expecting to simply have a cool way of making friends and hopefully being able to travel a little bit. And now, 18 months later, I look back and I haven't had a job for a year, and I'm in the process of, by the end of this year, completely retiring my mom. And I don't say that to impress you, but just to impress upon every single person that's on here that what you can do with this is completely dependent on the level of desire that you have, the heart you have for helping people, and how teachable and coachable you are. And I love it because I'm a normal, average person. Anyone who hangs around me knows that. And I'm just so excited for everyone on this call right now who's stepping up. So many people right now that are coming out of nowhere that over the past 2 months have grown so much. I mean, right now I'm looking at Colin Tovar. You guys know him out in Arizona. Just the level that he's grown over the past 2 months is like, it's like from the base of his head to where his hair's at, and his hair is like 10 inches tall, right? You got Katie Kaiser that's now throwing down on morning calls with Kaylee, and someone else is hopping on those calls. But yeah, there's like 3 or 4 girls that are just throwing down every single morning, and it is so cool to see. And so I'm just so stoked to see the people that are stepping up right now, like just by choice. And that's what it takes to go out there and win in this. And so with that, that actually has a lot to do with what I'm talking about tonight. And that is why you're not winning in life or Watabu is basically the subject of what I'm talking about tonight. So why you're not winning in life and or Watabu. Leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. Jim Rohn says that all the time. And all that it simply means, leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. If you can't lead yourself, how can you ever hope to lead other people, right? And so what I look at is leadership. You know, I think leadership is so important. And leadership doesn't necessarily mean standing on stages in front of thousands of people. Leadership isn't saving the world. Leadership isn't going out there and doing all these big things. Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So I'd really encourage you to write that down. Leadership is influence. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And you have to know that everything rises and falls on leadership. Like I said, leadership does not mean standing on stages in front of thousands of people. Leadership is having influence over people. You are a leader. If you are the oldest sibling in your house, your little siblings, no matter how much they bother, annoy you, whatever it may be, they look up to you at the end of the day. You have people in your life that you don't even know that are watching on a constant basis. And so if you can learn anything in life about leadership, learn that you already are one. Maybe not the people you want to be, but you're a leader to somebody out there. And people view you a certain way, and they're watching you every second of every day. Not in some creepy way, not in Santa Claus way. I'm just saying that people are always watching, okay? And you've got to be careful about the way that you present yourself. So leadership is influence. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, how do I develop myself as a leader? How do I develop myself as a leader? And the answer is in a question. You develop yourself. And most people just don't know how to go out there and do that. How can you hope to pour into others if your glass isn't even full? You have nothing to give to other people. Sometimes people hop on these calls and they're like, how does he talk like that? How did she say that? Where did she get that quote from? They're developing themselves. And because they develop themselves, they can develop other people. If your business isn't growing, if your relationships aren't improving, it's because you're not adding value. In life, you are either a battery or you're a charger. You are either sucking life out of people or you are giving life to people. 18 months ago, I was 100% a battery. I was sucking the life out of people. I was a negative person. I was arrogant, and all I cared about was me. And over the past 18 months, my heart has changed, my mind has changed, everything in me has changed because I got around people who were different. And I learned that if you don't develop yourself, how can you ever hope to develop other people? And so what I want to talk to you guys about is how you actually do go out there and develop yourself. How do you actually go out there and change who you are? And this doesn't just apply to a taboo. This applies to life, right? Have you ever seen a movie or heard a song where it's like someone walks in the room and everyone looks their way? That's not some cheesy thing from a song. Like, that's a real thing that happens. If a movie star walks in the room, let's say you're tired, right? Let's say you're tired, you're having a bad day. If Justin Bieber walks in the room, your energy's probably going to change. You're probably going to be awake. You're like, whoa, what's up? It's Justin Bieber, you know? Even if you don't like him, you know? I'm just saying that's an example of, you know, there's certain people that when they walk into a place, if you've ever been in an airport and you've seen someone, you're like, that person looks important, you know? It's like there's just a certain vibe that they give off. And you can give off that same vibe. You can give off the vibe of someone who simply developed themselves, and the way that they carry themselves, the way that they speak, the way that they influence people is incredible because they've done so much to grow themselves. And so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is dailies. Write this down, your dailies. Just like the word daily, but dailies, right? So dailies. And I'm going to talk to you guys about what mine are. But I'd write this quote down because I think this is incredible. It's what you do in the dark that puts you in the light. And I saw that quote at the end of a commercial for Michael Phelps. Anyone on here who knows who Michael Phelps is? Hopefully everyone. Raise your hand. By a show of hands, Olympic swimmer, perfect. Michael Phelps. There's this long commercial that Adidas did, and it shows him swimming in the dark. He's working out in the dark. You know, he's eating. All these things that people don't see. And then at the end it says it's what you do in the dark that puts you in the light. Very similar to the phrase that people get rewarded in public for what they practice for years in private. And so what that means simply is that it's what you're doing when people aren't looking that's going to determine how much people really look at you. You know what I mean? And dailies are such an important part of that. And so what are dailies? Dailies are what you're doing every day to mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, relationship-wise, and business-wise grow and develop your life. It's the things that you're doing every single day to get better as a person. And so there's actually 6 dailies, and you guys can write these down real quick. There's mental, physical, spiritual, relationships, social, and business. I'm actually about to put these on the screen too from my phone. I'm going to go ahead and screen share my schedule just so you guys can see what I actually do on a daily basis. Not to impress you, but to really just show you the schedule of someone who's disciplined. I don't have a boss. I don't have a job. I build this for me. I build this for my family. I build this for the people that I'm working with. But I'm disciplined because I know that it takes me getting better every day to ever hope to get people, you know, to be better, right? And so I get more done before noon than most people get done in their entire day. And I don't have school. I don't have a job to attend anymore. I had all that stuff, and I got rid of it from working my butt off in this industry. And so now, even though I don't have that stuff, I still wake up early. And I'm going to show you guys my schedule real quick. And if you guys didn't get all 6 of those dailies written down, don't worry. At the bottom of my paper, you're going to be able to copy them down from this. But I'm going to pull this up real quick. Boom, there it is. Okay, so this is my daily routine. I'm going to walk you guys through this real quickly just so you can see. You don't need to copy this, and I don't want you to go out there and do these things, but I want you to know what it takes in your dailies to go out there and crush it. So your dailies, these are the things that you're doing every single day to grow and develop yourself, right? And so every day I wake up, Monday through Friday, I wake up at 5:50 a.m. I do push-ups, pray on my knees. SM stands for spinal molding. It's for my back. My story's not a lie. I have a back that's unstable, and I have to do exercises for it every day. And then I visualize my day. At 6:30, I make breakfast. At 7, I read my Bible, which is my personal development. I read skill set development. That's SD. That's a book like Developing the Leaders Around You. I read CD, which is creative development. That's usually a fictional novel. And then I write in my grad pad talking about the things that I'm grateful for, because you always need to be in a state of gratitude. And I pray. At 8 a.m., I have a jam session for an hour. I have no distractions, and I focus on executing my daily tasks. I get more done in an hour than most people get done in 4 hours because I focus up, and that's what a jam session is. At 9 a.m., I have a Legends Zoom. It's an inner circle leadership meeting that happens every day except for Sunday. At 9:30, I have a FaceTime call with JJ Spittler because this guy is crushing it right now, and he needs all the help and the mentorship in the world he can to build the empire that he's building, and he is 100% worth everyone's time. At 10 a.m., I'm researching and educating myself on different things going on in the world, things that I want to know more about, because even though I'm not in school, I understand that YouTube is a university in itself. At 10:30 a.m., I'm following up and I'm recruiting for an hour. I'm also making my first lunch because I have 2 lunches because I'm a grown boy. And so I'm following up and recruiting for an hour to go out there and to bring new people into the business, to bring new people in as customers. 11:30 to 1, I'm working out and showering. And then 1 to 10, I'm building with Tabu, executing on daily tasks, crushing my DMOs and my minimums. At 10 p.m., I fill in my graphs, check my goals, look over next day's schedule, reflect, FaceTime JJ again. And then I do my spinal molding. I read and pray and go to sleep. And you guys can look at the bottom and see that my DMOs, which are your daily method of operations, my dailies are right there. Mental, physical, spiritual, relationships, social, and business. And I have under all of them what I'm actually doing within them every single day. So if I don't get these things done, I'm pissed. If I wake up at 6:30 a.m., I'm upset because I'm already missing out on my day. And the reason why I do this is very simple. I'll give you this story first, and it's a story of 2 lumberjacks. And some of you guys have heard this, some of you guys haven't, but there's this story of 2 lumberjacks, and they go into a forest to cut down a tree, right? And they both have their tree that they're working on. One lumberjack goes in there, and he just starts going at that thing, and he's doing it for hours, that entire day. And the guy next to him, he cuts at it, and then he leaves. And then he comes back a few hours, and then he leaves. And he comes back, and he does this the whole day throughout the day. He comes back 5 or 6 times, and this guy's just chopping away at the trees. Like, what is this guy doing? He keeps leaving. Like, this is a competition. You're going to lose, dude. And the other guy ends up cutting down his tree faster. And so he walks up to him. He's like, dude, I got to know, like, how were you able to cut down the tree faster than me? You kept leaving. You kept going somewhere, doing whatever you were. And I've been focused on my dreams. I've been focused on my goals. How did you do that? He said, when you were out here working your butt off, I went home to sharpen my axe. And the way that you can relate that to what I'm talking about right now is if you're not sharpening your axe, if you have a dull axe, you can be working as hard as you want, but you're not working smarter, and you're not going to be able to go out there and actually execute. And so every day from 5:50 a.m. to 1 p.m., I'm sharpening my axe so that I can actually help other people go out there and do theirs. So the question I have for you is, what are you doing on a daily basis to develop yourself so that you can develop other people? And I want all of you to feel comfortable reaching out to me through social media, reaching out to any leader, and asking for their schedule. Or I will sit down and I will create a schedule with you. Let's say you work 18 hours a day. We will map out how you're going to be able to sleep 4 hours a day and how we'll use those other 2 hours to develop you, whatever it takes. Like, seriously, reach out to me and I will help you create a schedule. And I do not want it to look this intense. It should not look like this. This is someone who's full-time in network marketing. That was after a year of working my butt off. Most people are not full-time, so your schedule's not going to look like this, and that's okay. You just need to have things in there every single day that you're actually doing to develop and grow yourself, and you can't rush this, right? When I first got involved in this industry, I just wanted to get to success now. Skip my brother's birthday party, skip Christmas. I just wanted to get there. But you've got to realize that this is a journey, and that's the second thing, is that there's patience involved in this. In developing yourself, you also have to be patient in this industry, right? Shannon said to hold on, right? Hold on, and I think you should hold on until when? Until it happens is when you should be holding on till. It's not going to happen overnight. And so you've got to realize that in this industry, everything takes time. In life, getting better, any skill takes time. The average professional spends 10,000 hours on whatever skill that they're learning, that they're developing themselves in. And so you've got to know that this is a journey, and it's not going to happen overnight, but the more you fail, the more you can go out there and you can succeed and you can learn how to get better every single day. And I think that that's something that we all need to be reminded of, right? If you go out there, and I'm not joking, you look up articles online, you listen to successful speakers, you listen to people who've gone out there and made their dreams come true, they will almost always say the exact same thing, that the end result that they were looking to achieve wasn't nearly as satisfying as the journey and the person that they became on it. Let me say that one more time. Successful people make it clear that the end result that they were striving for in life is not nearly as satisfying as the person that they became in the process of getting there. You have to fall in love with the journey every single day. Because if you get better every single day, even if it's 1%, that's 365% better every single year. Who's doing that? People aren't doing that. They're learning from life experience. They're just doing the normal day in and day out grind. They're not growing that much. People say that age equals wisdom, and it's such BS. The only reason why old people are so-called wise a lot of times is because they just had more life experience. But you can get that life experience out of the way faster. I'm wiser than some 70 and 80-year-olds because I've been able to develop myself through books and audios and different things that I do. And same thing applies to some of you guys. That's crazy. That you have more wisdom and knowledge stored up in your brain and in your heart than some people who are 3-4 times as old as you. That's crazy to me. And it's because we're failing and we're failing faster. And so you have to fall in love with the journey, and you have to realize that successful people say it best. You're going to fall in love with the person you become on the way there, not necessarily the end result. And so the last thing I'll say about that, which is kind of all part one, and they got a quick follow-up to this, is show me your schedule, and I'll show you your income. Show me your schedule, and I will show you your income. Show me what your schedule looks like, what you're doing every single day to develop yourself, what you're doing every single day to build Watabu, and I will show you what your income should be, because it'll always match up every single time. Your growth personally as a person is a direct reflection of the size of your bank account every single time. It's always going to be that way. And so you've got to understand that your income is a direct reflection of the person that you are and the things you've done to go out there and make it happen. And so, guys, that's what I have to talk about when it comes to winning in life, when it comes to winning Watabu, why you're not. And to really narrow it down more to Watabu, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you're possibly not winning in Watabu. These are the only 2 reasons I can think of. If you got a third one, let's hear it. But these are the biggest things. Number 1, why you wouldn't be winning in Watabu right now on the level that you want to. Those dailies have everything to do with it. What you do every single day to grow and develop yourself is so key. But here's what it has to do when we really just narrow it down to just Watabu. Number 1, you're not personally enrolling and group enrolling. Personally enrolling means setting the example, new customers and new ambassadors that you're bringing into the business. So number 1, you're not personally and group enrolling. Group enrolling is developing others. If people aren't duplicating in your business, that's your fault, not theirs. You're not showing them how to successfully be able to go out there and win. And all of this stems from belief. Like draw, not personally enrolling and group enrolling, draw an arrow next to that and put belief. Because if you truly believed in this, you would do that. You would build this business. You would help other people go out there and do that. And some of you guys don't believe in this. Seriously. We have an opportunity right now that is changing lives. The opportunity to be part of an international travel and adventure club that, if you want, can create financial freedom. Is it easy? No. The past year and a half of my life has been the hardest freaking thing I've ever done. Ever. But it has been the most rewarding in my entire life. I have had sleepless nights. I have had some of the biggest just pain from just rejection from people. Like, it sucks, right? It sucks to go out there and do something different and get a different result, but sometimes not have people accept you or understand really the road that you're on. It's not easy. Is it worth it? Yeah. Is it hard? Yeah, it really is. But you know what? When you go out there and you take action on this, you show how much you believe in this. If you don't believe in this, you're literally slapping every single person in the face that doesn't have the opportunity to be a part of this. There are some people that would die for the opportunity to be a part of Watabu. They would die to be on a call like this, to be able to tune into things like this, to take notes and to learn and to develop themselves. They would die to go on a getaway trip. They would die to be at this regional event, and they don't even know that it exists. And so when they hear about Watabu for the first time, they're going to think it sounds too good to be true because they've never heard about something like that before. And you could be the reason that people aren't hearing about this right now. You're literally slapping every single person in the face that doesn't know about Watabu by not actually building this and taking this seriously, because you bought into a dream that you're not actually giving to other people. Think about that for a second. So number 1, you're either not personally in group enrolling, or number 2, you're not investing time in the newest person. And by time, I mean like all your time, okay? Cool. So here's the thing with investing time in the newest person. It's got to be all your time, all of your free time. Ashton is a guy that just launched out there on the East Coast with me, and I made it pretty clear to Ashton on day 1 that I'm available for him, whether it's 3 p.m., whether it's 3 a.m. I said the same exact thing to JJ, and he took advantage of that, you know? You have to be willing to really pour into people. Don't enroll someone unless you're going to help them launch. Most of you guys are helping people join the business. That means they get started, you're like, all right, cool, good luck. Let me know if you need anything. That's like giving someone, you know, the manual to a jet and then being like, all right, bro, figure it out, instead of getting in the co-pilot seat with them. Seriously, I would rather you not enroll a single person in this business or a single customer if you're not actually going to help them. Don't do it. It's such a waste of time to not actually help people after you spend all this time showing this to them and you follow up and then they get started and then, whoop, like you get them trained and then, cool, you good? All right, perfect, see ya. What is that? And why do people do that? I don't get it. Like, if your business is only getting wider but it's not getting deeper, that's because you're not actually developing people and spending time with the newest person. The newest person is always the most important. And some people just don't get that. You got to get that through your head. The newest person is the most important. When I came into this industry, I was scared. I didn't have belief in myself. I didn't know what to do. But a guy named Kenny Rodriguez literally like grabbed my hand and he's like, let's do this together. And he told me the most ridiculous things. He told me that I could be successful in this. He told me that I could get out of my job with this. He told me that I could go out there and I could pack my living room full of people. And I literally thought he was just trying to make money on me at first. And that's like all I thought. And then he started being my friend. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And then I actually went out there and I made those things happen because he believed in me. And how can you expect for someone to see success in this and something brand new that they're scared about if you're not actually giving them the help and the belief that they need? It's crazy to me. And so you need to make yourself free. You need to set the expectation when they get started. You need to treat them like they're the most important. And you need to understand that the reason you do this isn't just to build your business and to help those people see success, but it's also to really build your income, because width is for show and depth is for dough. Width is for show, depth is for dough. Width, depth, width for show, depth for dough. Your business, if you're just personally enrolling people, but they're not actually going out there and seeing success, they're not making money within Watabu, that's completely like your fault. Or if they're not taking action, then it's their fault. But most of the time, it's us as leaders. And so you've got to start being a leader to your people. Whether you have one person in your organization, whether you have 0, whether you have 20, you need to step up and you need to help these people. Newest person, I don't care if it's 4 tiers down, an enrollment of an enrollment of an enrollment. They deserve your help. They deserve your attention. So the last thing that Jim Rohn's taught me that's really changed my life, the last thing I'll give you guys before I pass over to Cory, who's going to throw down, is that as Jim Rohn would say, you need to, if you want to step from childhood to adulthood, you need to take 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life, both good and bad, and make a decision to change it. Jim Rohn says that you have to take responsibility of everything good and bad that happens in your life if you want to step from childhood to adulthood. And so I encourage everyone who's on here right now, no matter where you're at in your business, whether you are thriving, whether you are just getting started, whether you are in the middle, you're in the limbo stage, you're brand new, whatever it may be, make a decision that you're going to take responsibility for where your business is at, for where your Watabu checks are at every month when you go check ProPay, and make a decision that you're going to change it. You're either going to make it better, you're going to make it bigger, or you're going to do both. And that just comes down to, really building the newest person. And it comes down to actually getting, your personal development, your personal growth in order and developing yourself so you can actually help other people do the exact same thing. You need to divorce the story that you've told yourself. You need to marry the truth. The story is that I'm doing all I can, and the truth is that you can always do better. So with that, guys, I want to pass it over to Mr. Cory Reece. This is one of my best friends in the entire world, and boy, am I excited to be on a call with him. Literally, we got involved in this industry a year and a half ago. It changed everything for me because he was someone who I looked up to and I respected, but I didn't think this industry was for him, and I almost prejudged him. And then he got involved, and I was surprised. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of different. I mean, I guess you can't prejudge. And then he led to hundreds of people. I'm like, okay, you really can't prejudge. And now I'm going to tell that story to every new person about prejudging, and it's absolutely incredible. And so I'm going to let him really close this thing out, guys, for the next 15 minutes and really just throw down with some stuff that he's going to bring to the table. And I'm just so excited to be back on a call with him. I mean, for you guys who really know Cory super well, he has been really, just figuring things out and just developing and growing himself. And he has just been charging himself up, and I'm super excited to hear him really let it all out. So I'm going to want to pass it over to one of my best friends, Mr. Cory Reece.
Thank you, Peter. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. All right, guys. There were some dang nuggets dropped in the last 30 minutes. I had a bunch of stuff that I was going to go over, but I think that, Peter covered some of the topics I was going to talk about, and so did Shannon with some of her stories. So I'm just going to really wrap things up and give you guys one takeaway. So real quick, there was a lot that Peter talked about. Some of the things that I personally gathered from it were the DMOs, your dailies, or whatever you want to call them, the actions that you're going to be taking every day in order to grow yourself. These are very, very important, okay? Another thing that I took away from Shannon is just committing to growing a little bit every single day. And where those two come together is this thing called the momentum cycle, all right? So you're in a spot where you can take notes. I encourage you all to draw 3 little arrows, one at the top, it's going to end up being a circle with 3 arrows. So spot in 3 different areas that you can write words though, okay? So at the top, you're going to write success. For those of you who don't know how to spell success, it's SUCCESS, all right? So success, and then a little arrow going around to confidence, okay? And then after confidence, another arrow over to activity. And then after that, the arrow back to success, okay? So 3 arrows and 3 words: success, confidence, and activity. And this is called the momentum cycle. And this is what happens, guys, when you start to take some action, okay? You start to take some activity or different things. And that leads to success, okay? Shannon started doing some different things. She started wanting a different result, so she started to do different stuff. She took action, though. She didn't just sit there and think, oh, I'm thinking differently. The world's going to give me everything I need. Oh, this is going to be great. No, she started to take action, which led her to success. What did the success do? It built her confidence, okay? And when you have more confidence, you're going to take more action. And it just continues to go in the circle. And that's why it's called a momentum cycle, okay? And a lot of you are in the opposite of that. You're in a anti-momentum cycle, or a failure cycle, where it's like failure leads to lack of confidence, which leads to lack of activity, which leads to failure again. And some of you are just going around this failure cycle over here over and over and over again. Well, here's the key, guys. The key to bringing this whole call together is making little steps that you are going to be able to do every single day. Something that you're going to be able to do to grow yourself, A, and grow your business, B, those little takeaways that you're going to take care of, no matter what. Okay, these happen every single day. Make them easy. Don't go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to talk to 10 new people a day. I don't even put down I'm going to talk to 5 new people a day. Because I guarantee you that there's going to be some day next weekend where you're going to be either hungover or sick or whatever you happen to be, that you really do not want to do this, or you're going to have a whole day plan where you're doing stuff and you won't get that done. And then that'll put you right back into the failure cycle. So stay in the success momentum cycle, guys. So a couple little things that you're going to do every single day, and do them every single day. Take action on those things. Go out there and apply some of the things that you learned from listening to Peter drop those bombs, and take the energy and excitement and different things that you learned from Shannon and that little success that she started to see just by doing a little bit of things differently, and go out there and really start to change your business, okay? This is the second part. We're almost done with the month of February, okay? We have 1 month left before this Michigan regional, pretty much, okay? 1 month. That's it. So let's make sure that we make the most of it, because we are going to be showing up in full force with our T-shirts, which, by the way, if you haven't gotten one, text Kenny, okay? With our Elite Network T-shirts, we're going to be showing up there and really going to be dropping a bomb on Watabu in Michigan. So, guys, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on here tonight, and let's go out there and just rock this week with Watabu. So put your hands up, and I will talk to all of you wonderful people a little bit later. Peace!